A sea of empty beer bottles covers the floor. My boyfriend is drunk again. I know all of the warning signs. I grew up with an alcoholic mother. Out of the blue, I hear a voice as clear as crystal. You're more powerful than this, Laura. What are you doing? I recognize this voice. It's my higher self. She showed up the last time I was in too deep. My heart sinks. My eyes well up. I feel weak and pathetic. I don't know, I whisper. A far cry from the inspirational woman and confident leader people know and admire me to be. My boyfriend is unaware in his drunken stupor. I want to smash the empty bottles of beer over his head. I'm angry. I'm ashamed. I'm disappointed in myself. Why? I've already had a dance off with the devil and I won. So why am I standing at the gates of hell again? I'm 13 years old, arriving home after school. Mom, I'm home. There's no response. She's passed out, fully clothed in bed, with empty bottles of vodka surrounding her. I take away the empties and I add them to the growing pile like I've done so many times before. I guess I'm making dinner tonight. I couldn't understand why the love of her family wasn't enough for her to try. I needed her love. I needed her attention. I needed my mum. Having to grow up quick and parent myself half of the time meant I appeared and acted much older, and that let me run with the older kids, doing stuff that older kids do. But at the end of the day, I was just a child. At 14, I was smoking weed. At 15, it was ecstasy and coke, and by 16, it was heroin. The negative momentum kept picking up speed, and I kept attracting more, including a dealer boyfriend 12 years my senior, me 16, him 28. 5 hits of heroin a day numbed the pain of beatings and abuse. 2 years I stayed in that prison of my own making. One night I saw my chance and I took it. At 18 years old, I climbed out of the kitchen window and I ran in a desperate bid to claim back my freedom. I got away. I got clean. It felt good. And I felt powerful. But now, staring at the sea of empty beer bottles, I'm more confused than ever. The next day, I visit my best friend. Laura, you need to watch this movie. It will change your life. Teresa's voice is electric with excitement. Wow, I need that now, I replied, feeling the weight of my desperation. Teresa hits play on the DVD called Secret. And as Bob Proctor stares into the camera, his words spoke straight to my soul. Everything in your life, you've created it, the good and the bad. Images of my life flash before my eyes. Every choice, every detour, every heartbreak. I realize I've been the creator of my chaos all along. But instead of shame and guilt, I feel something unexpected. Empowerment. If I've created this world of shit by default, just imagine what I could create on purpose. This perspective, it was the catalyst that moved the goalposts. I did what Bob said. I poured myself into changing my thoughts so I could change my reality. The initial shift was instant. My boyfriend with the beer bottles moved out. I launched a new business that flourished. Life was on the up. The secret, it had shifted my mindset and my view on healing. If this is true and can have such a profound impact on my life, what else is true? I soon found myself drawn into the world of healing through non-physical energy. Think Reiki, meditation, chakras, and this up-leveled everything. Bob Proctor taught me about mindset and taking bold physical actions aligned with that mindset. But energy work amplified my results, feelings, and ability to create on a whole new level. It was like having a magic wand. My intuition became crystal clear. The things I wanted were magnetized to me. I experienced ease and flow. Where once there was stress and anxiety. The best way I can describe what was happening is by calling it leading with my feminine. At first, the term didn't attract me. If anything, it repelled me. Everything I'd heard about the feminine was confusing and contradictory. Being nurturing and motherly was dismissed as weak and unimportant, yet the alternative, women burning bras and rejecting chivalry, that felt aggressive and unbalanced. I didn't see myself in either version. But true feminine leadership isn't about fitting into outdated stereotypes. It's about activating the deep, untapped power within us. Looking around at leading female figures, I saw that they had been molded to lead like men, rooted in hierarchy and linear progression, taught to be logical, tough, unemotional. And I had been doing the same. Did I get results? Sure. But at what cost? I realized I had not been using my feminine superpowers in my leadership or in my life. And this seemed like such a missed opportunity. Feminine energy has specific superpowers. I like to refer to this as the feminine code, intuition and inner magnetism, cyclical wisdom and connection, collaborative, heart-led leadership. Where the masculine says, push through, force it, grind. The feminine whispers, slow down, align, flow. Masculine and feminine energy were never meant to compete. They are the two ends of the same stick. Energetic polarity, opposites that in their balanced state complete each other. One fuels action, the other flow. But together they create unity, balance, and wholeness. And while I can't share all of the ways to activate the feminine code and master aligned conscious leadership, I am going to share with you the most potent tool I've ever used, driven by emotional intelligence and without question, the single most effective method I've found for lasting transformation. The chakra system. In emotional intelligence, you will see a model that shows you how your results are directly related to your emotions. It goes emotion, thought, action, results. Emotion sparks a decision. The decision drives action. Action creates the result. But this is where mindset alone falls short. All of us have tried using our mind to push through, but it just doesn't work. Yes? That's because emotions are a stronger behavioral driver. And while you can lie about your thoughts, you can't lie about your true emotional state. The chakra system revealed its purpose, an internal map for energetic alchemy. And it led me to the gold. It was the missing piece between who life had conditioned me to be and the aligned higher version I was meant to be. Each chakra holds a weakness, a specific negative emotion that blocks energy flow. They act as an energetic warning system. I like to call them our emotional alarms. Now, the main culprits are fear that blocks your root chakra, unworthiness that blocks the sacral chakra, and doubt that blocks the solar plexus. And when left unchecked, these damaging emotions shape our beliefs, creating unconscious patterns that control our lives and the results we get. Just as the body suffers when vital systems are blocked, our energy suffers when we disconnect from our true aligned power. And this is exactly what I discovered through the chakras. Just like a blocked artery in your heart prevents the blood from flowing as it should, your chakras can also have obstructions that create energetic bottlenecks. Yes, the artery still works. Some blood does get through. but it's not optimal. Now, think about how that would impact your energy, thoughts, feelings, actions. Same with the chakras. But what obstructs the chakras isn't a buildup of plaque. It's a buildup of negative emotions and beliefs. So if any of these statements resonate with you, they're emotional alarms signaling blockages. I'm always waiting to be found out, like I don't belong. I work hard, but deep down, I still don't feel worthy of success. I feel unseen, unheard, like I don't matter. These are some examples of energy blocks, and I feel it's safe to say we all have them, but we're not stuck with them. We can unblock the chakras, realign them, and then connect to our highest potential and lead in new ways, not how we've been told to, which, if we look around, can see that is not working. When the chakras are unblocked, we become aligned. Just like the clearing of the artery gives your body a stronger constitution, you won't get sick as easily. This alignment creates strong, energetic constitution. You no longer look outside of yourself for direction because you have inner knowing and you trust that you have the answers. Knowing how to read and feel energy is the best tool to create the right results with ease, confidence, and flow. Aligning your energy awakens your inner authority. But what does that mean? It means becoming the author of your life, free, limitless, unchained by outside influence. Think about it. Have you ever made a choice simply because society told you it was the right path? That's not authority. That's autopilot. True authority looks like effortless success. And it feels like the love we secretly crave but fear embracing. So what if from this moment forward you held the pen? What if you stopped living a script handed to you and started writing one that sets your soul on fire? Like most, my main example of feminine energy was my mum. But she wasn't aligned. She was disconnected. Life had taught her she was weak and unworthy. So she shrunk herself, buried her emotions. She mistook silence for safety. Yet she had magic. She knitted the most intricate designs with ease. A kitchen witch with a deep wisdom of plants, remedies, and nature's rhythms, but she played it down and dimmed her light. So she shrunk herself to stay safe. Believing intelligence was measured by grades, that her gifts weren't valuable. She buried her emotions because showing them was a weakness, right? But unhealed trauma doesn't stay buried. It festers. It gets passed down. Addiction was the obvious wound that I inherited. What wasn't obvious? My craving for outside validation, my struggle to trust my own authority. I didn't see it until I healed. My mum wasn't broken. She simply lacked the tools. She had love and compassion for everyone except herself. Her unhealed wounds turned into frustration, anger, and fear. And all I saw was that alcohol mattered more than me. A belief took root. I'm not enough. I'm not worthy. And with it, the cycle repeated. But the chakra system, it shattered the illusion, the doubts, fear, and limitations I carried. They were never mine, just borrowed stories from outdated programs. Awareness was the key. Forgiveness set me free. And in that freedom, I reclaimed my power, finally home within myself. When we are not responsible for the innate power that we have, we're not fully actualized and miss out on what is possible for us. What kind of life would you have if you got your aligned power and used it? It transformed not only my life, but how I show up in the world and how the world shows up for me. And now I help women like you do the same, to become energetically aligned in mind, body, and spirit, to awaken their inner authority to lead with authentic connection. By shedding the fears and limiting beliefs that keep you disconnected, you step into authentic authority, rooted in love, safety, and connection to source. This is how we create a better future. Not through force or control, but by becoming the change we want to see, feel. Take a moment to imagine just what that could look like. Women leaders standing in their full power, embracing intuition, empathy, and connection as strengths, not weaknesses to hide or apologize for. Creating spaces where others feel safe, seen, and heard. Inspiring collaboration and unity, redefining success, shifting it away from the fear-driven paradigms of greed and control towards purpose, fulfillment, and growth. This is what aligned leadership looks like. Working with the chakra system reconnected me to source energy, aligning the material with the spiritual. It unlocked a power I didn't even know I had, the kind of power that comes from harmonizing the energetic polarity, the yin and the yang. For generations, we've lived under the imbalance of an outdated patriarchal system built in hierarchy, power at the top and control trickling down. A world disconnected from the divine feminine, where masculinity turned destructive. We were sold and bought the lie of separation, but the feminine moves differently. Matriarchal systems form a circle where wisdom is shared, power is distributed, and connection is at the center. Deep within us at a soul level, we've always longed for that unity. And that longing, it's our call back to alignment. Here's the truth. We have all got shit, and life has a way of piling it on thick. And the problem is, shit sticks. Unless you want to go through life covered in it, you're gonna have to clean yourself up. Here's the good news. It doesn't have to be complicated, but it does demand commitment and courage, because you're gonna have to dig deep, real deep. The first step is to take full responsibility, not partial responsibility, not I'll own it, but only for the good stuff. Responsibility, full stop. Now, I get it. You're probably thinking, how am I responsible for that pain or that trauma? And I feel you. I really feel you. That while the scars of trauma may not be our own doing, healing them is our responsibility. It would have been easy for me to blame my mum for being a drunk, or my ex for introducing me to heroin. But those would have been convenient lies dressed up as excuses, victim stories that painted me powerless. And the truth about playing the victim, it's who we become with a blocked root chakra, a character locked in survival mode, trapped by fear, convincing you that you're not safe. You can't leave. But love comes with conditions. But here's what I now know. When life hits you hard, which it will, you've got two choices. Play the victim and resign to the shadows of suffering, or rise as the victor, fierce, free, and fully aligned with your limitless potential. Because healing through the chakras isn't just about feeling better. It's about building a foundation of authenticity where you are finally safe to be seen, to be heard, and to be unapologetically powerful. When you step up, when you take responsibility, the world shifts. You're no longer at the mercy of life. You're creating it. That changes everything. When you clear the blocks, when you reclaim your energy, you don't just lead, you magnetize. You inspire. You create long-lasting, positive change. This is the edge the world has been waiting for, a new kind of leadership fueled by authenticity, integrity, and power that flows, not forces. When you activate your feminine code, you don't just change your life, you change the game. The first feminine superpower that you unlock when you align with your chakras is intuitive leadership. Trusting your intuition to regain inner power. When you heal the fear-based conditioning that has told us intuition is irrational, make-believe, not to be trusted, you unlock one of the most potent leadership tools available. True leadership isn't loud or reactive. It's grounded in clarity. An aligned third eye guides you to see through chaos and deception, allowing for sharp, fearless decision-making. Others admire. Now couple that with an aligned solar plexus, which is the chakra related to our gut instinct and personal power, then you will have the confidence to trust your gut and your inner wisdom. A healed woman is no longer swayed by doubt or manipulation, both of which are emotional alarms signaling blocks in the solar plexus. No, she trusts herself, knowing that intuition is a legitimate leadership skill, one that top innovators often rely on. Yet very few will tell you. Intuition keeps you steps ahead of trends and threats, all while remaining rooted in calm confidence. The second superpower that you can gain from aligning through your chakras is magnetic influence. Now, this is where you can create an abundance of safe, limitless opportunities. You see, women are often told they must fight for visibility, success, and respect. But fighting is rooted in fear. Fear separates us from our inner truth. When your sacral and heart chakras are healed and aligned, you radiate magnetic, authentic energy, and that invites respect and opportunity. No begging, no chasing, no force required. You enter into a state of ease and flow, the very essence of the feminine code. When you heal past fears of rejection or judgment, it then becomes safe to be seen, to be heard, and to be successful as a woman. And the third superpower to be gained from aligning your energies is unshakable inner peace and resilience, the ultimate leadership edge. In a world that is still clinging desperately to toxic leadership models, a woman grounded in peace and resilience becomes an unshakable force. Think of women like Lema Bowie Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, both Nobel Peace Prize winners. They led a nation through civil war and political collapse, not with force, but with unity, with compassion, with unwavering feminine power. They proved something powerful. Peace is not passive. It's potent. Healing your root and crown chakras, that allows you to walk through uncertainty without being derailed by fear, intimidation, criticism. Leaders grounded in peace command respect without demanding it. You become, for want of a better word, unfuckable with. The future belongs to leaders who are aligned, healed, and fearless in advocating for meaningful change. This is what aligned, conscious leadership looks like. It's a return to unity over division, integrity over manipulation, collective power over individual status. And when you embody it, people feel it. Before you speak, before you act, your presence says it all. In a world starved of truth, alignment is magnetic. It makes space for other women to rise, for compassionate leadership to be valued, and for businesses and communities to thrive in integrity. This is the revolution the world has been waiting for, and it starts with you. I've seen it unfold in real time. One of my clients, a powerhouse executive in her 50s, shaped very much by the patriarchal grind, always on, always giving, never receiving. Stress ruled her life. Bad relationships mirrored her overgiving, all because of an unhealed unworthiness issue. Energy work. She called it nonsense. But as we worked on her sacral chakra, what once felt like nonsense suddenly became relatable, and everything started to shift. Stress dissolved, unworthiness evaporated, and for the first time in her life, she put herself first. With alignment came flow. Her career soared to even higher heights. Her relationships deepened and life became hers again. Another client, a top leadership coach who was stuck at a ceiling level she couldn't break. Corporate structures drained her, but the real block, a deep-seated fear of receiving, of standing in her power. Balancing her sacral and solar plexus chakras rewired her. She became hyper-aware of old patterns, stopping them before they started. Instead of pushing, she learned when to act, when to wait, and how to trust the flow. Now life meets her where she is. And another client, a brilliant mathematician in Swiss banking, yet plagued by generational unworthiness, undervalued at work, dismissed by male superiors, and trapped in relationships that reflected the same. She thought this was just life until she healed. And now she's not just thriving, she's inspiring everyone around her to make energy alignment the foundation of success. The chakras are your treasure map to unpack the baggage of life, to release the fears and limitations passed down through generations, to rewire the limiting beliefs that hold you prisoner to your conditions, and to then reconnect you to the divine essence you came from. But there's a catch. We have free will. We hold the power to choose. So I'll ask you this: what are you choosing? Because every time we refuse to heal, every time we say, that's just how it's always been done, we betray the next generation. We hand them the same old suffering wrapped up in the same tired excuses. And for what? Greed, apathy, a world that serves only a select few? Let me be clear, that excuse is no longer valid. We owe it to our children and their children to stop this cycle. We must be the generation that says the pain stops here. We heal so they don't have to. We align so they can thrive, not just survive. We turn up the light to eliminate the darkness. So I'll ask you one final question. What's the most powerful source of energy in the world? It's not the sun. It's not some machine. Understand, it's you. There is nothing more powerful on the face of this earth than someone who is aligned with their inner seat of power. Your chakra system is your guide to that aligned power. It's the bridge between who you've been conditioned to be and who you are truly meant to be. You all possess a brilliant, unique radiance, a light powerful enough to transform the world. Now is your time, not just to spark change, but to be the change, to lead a revolution of consciousness, to awaken a new era of limitless possibility. Now is your time to rise, fully aligned, unapologetically authentic, igniting a legacy so bold, so undeniable, that future generations won't just thank you, they'll honor you. They'll follow your lead and carry it forward because you chose alignment, because you healed, because you remembered who you truly are. Let history remember you as one of the first who dared to lead differently.